Let's take a look at how to use the very basics of Google Webmaster Tools to learn what information Google has about your website, as well as provide Google with a few instructions about how to index your pages. The first step is to go to google.com/webmasters/tools and sign into your account. This will require a Google account, and if you don't already have one, you can head over to google.com/accounts to create one. Once you're logged in, you'll see a list of the websites that you're able to manage. You can see here that we've already added and verified explorecalifornia.org. But if you wanted to manage a different domain, you can use this red button here to add the site. To protect your account and the website, Google will need to verify that you actually own this domain and that you're authorized to see some critical details of this website. There are a few different verification methods you can choose from, but you'll need to do this successfully before you continue. The options that you or your webmaster have include uploading a specific HTML file to your site, adding a specific meta tag to your source code, or making a small change to your site's DNS record. Another helpful option is the Google Analytics or Tag Manager access method, which you can use if you're using these services and you have administrative access to them. Once you've verified a website, you'll see it in your list in the main dashboard with any important messages for you. And if you click into this website, it'll bring up a dashboard and a menu of all the different areas within Webmaster Tools. While you can click into any of this basic information presented on the dashboard to dive into certain reports and areas of Webmaster Tools, let's go ahead and walk through some of the most important items using the menu at left as our guide. We're also going to switch over into one of the views from one of my own sites, as it has a little more information and interesting things to look at than the Demo Explore California account. First, you'll want to notice the Site Messages area. This is where warnings, alerts, or information that pertains to your site will surface, and it's important to check in here from time to time. Next, in the Search Appearance menu, the first item is a place that can give you an overview of the structured data, like the microformats we've looked at with the schema.org formats. This can be helpful in finding and fixing errors that may exist from a technical SEO perspective. The Data Highlighter tool will allow you to add structured data without accessing your site's code. And the HTML Improvements area can be helpful in showing you any issues that Google thinks you should address. The Site Links area allows you to tell Google that you'd prefer they not use a specific site link that they might already be using. For example, here's a listing for my own company with site links. If for some reason I didn't want one of these site links, I could use this section of Webmaster Tools to demote it. In the Search Traffic menu, you can use the Search Queries reports to see some interesting details about your organic search visibility on Google. You can basically come at this from two different directions. Either the queries that your website is showing up for and being clicked on in search results, or the pages that are showing up. In both tabs, you can see impressions as well as how many clicks you got for different keywords or pages. And you can also see the average positions your site was ranking in for different keywords over a given period of time. There are some filters to help you drill into performance on different types of search, different countries, or only queries or pages that generated a certain volume of traffic. And note that clicking on a row will cross-reference either pages with queries or vice versa. This can give you an indication of which pages are being returned for a certain query, or which queries were used to return a certain page of interest. You'll also see here reports that give you an idea of what external websites and pages are linking to you, which can be extremely important in your off-page optimization efforts. And you'll also see this report around your internal linking. Note that there's also an international targeting area that we go into much more detail on in the International SEO Fundamentals course. In the Google Index area, the first report is giving us an indication of the total number of URLs you have in the Google Index over time. The advanced view lets you also look at URLs that you're blocking with robots.txt instructions, as well as anything that Google has removed from the index. The Content Keywords report gives you an idea of what Google thinks your website is about as it's crawling your site. And it's really a reflection of how frequently it's finding certain words and their variants across the pages of your site. If you find that these words don't match up very well with what you do and what you're trying to gain search visibility for, then you'll probably have some work to do on your content. Last, if you have any content that you don't want the search engines to index, like pages for your logged-in users or development areas of your website, you can submit them here. In the Crawl menu, you can view the crawl error reports to look at what problems Google has had crawling and indexing your site. Crawl errors can hurt your site in the Google search results, so it's important to identify the type of crawl error that's affecting your different URLs and then take the appropriate steps to resolve those errors. These might include things like implementing 301 redirects or removing references to pages that are no longer part of your site, or fixing some web server configurations. But the point is, finding out about them is the first step to fixing them. In the crawl stats, you can also get information about how and how frequently Google is crawling the pages of your site, and using the Fetch as Google feature will allow you to see the pages of your site as Google's crawler does from a selection of devices. The robots.txt tester will report any errors you may have in your instructions around what search engines are not supposed to index. The Sitemaps area allows you to submit your XML sitemaps to Google, and remember, you can have many different types. For example, in addition to a sitemap outlining the content pages across your site, we've also seen in this course video sitemaps, and there are also image and mobile sitemap formats as well. We saw earlier in this course how to use the URL parameters area to tell Google how it should treat different query string parameters in your URLs. And the security issues and other resources areas are good places to find information about things like malware or any evidence of hacking that's taking place on your site, along with many, many more things. As you can see, there are many features to Google Webmaster Tools that you should explore, and there are always more features coming out. All in all, Google has done a pretty good job of letting you know how it views your pages and allowing you to provide input into what it knows about you. Staying on top of Google Webmaster Tools month after month is certainly an endeavor that will pay its dividends.